So, David, what do you do for fun? Shuffleboard, actually.
Shuffleboard, yeah.
What do you do for work? Shuffleboard.
Professional shuffleboard player. Yeah, we're good.
You maniacs! You blew it up! Ah, damn you! God damn you all to hell! Welcome back, everyone, to Uninformed Movie Reviews. Back at it with another great episode that is RVO, Remake versus Original, of one of the best film series of all time, Donkey Kong Country 2. Just kidding, it's Planet of the Apes. Today we're comparing 1968's Planet of the Apes with 2001's Planet of the Apes.
All right. Well stated. You know, I mean, I would argue that this isn't one of the greatest film franchises. Well, maybe not. Maybe it is one of the greatest for sure. Definitely not the best. I mean, Lord of the Rings exists.
That's true.
But
The Leprechaun.
Yeah, the Leprechaun exists. I've only seen these two movies. I came to that realization.
So you haven't seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes?
No.
Or Dawn or War?
No, I hate James Franco.
Well, he's only in one.
No, I'm just joking. I don't mind James
It's
Franco.
like I'm learning so much about you on this podcast right now.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm definitely intrigued. Part of me kind of wants to pop in those next Planet of the Apes. The only problem is I know exactly what's going to happen. That's what's kind of keeping me back from
At the end of the original series?
Well, I just mean the James Franco movies. I feel like it's got to be pretty obvious what's going to be going down. You know what I mean?
Oh, in the
pretty
first
fun to
one, for
watch,
sure.
man.
Yeah, they are fun. They're
I'm sure
really
they'll be
good.
fun. I'm sure they'll be fun. I don't know why I haven't watched them, but
I gotta say that James Franco one out of that trilogy is the weakest for sure.
Really?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
other two are
Once you
bomb.
start relying more heavily on old Gollum himself,
Yeah.
it's great.
And
You got to get through the first one to get to the gold.
okay, interesting.
I may be wrong on this. I'm actually gonna Danny two hands it right now, but I'm pretty sure Paul Giamatti is in 2 Planet of the Apes movies, the one we're talking about,
yeah,
and I think he's in the latter ones.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing that they're keeping the continuity alive. Well, anyways, yeah, on Remake versus Original, though, we're not talking about the James Franco ones because those are technically prequels.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I haven't seen them, but
they're what are they called? Soft reboot prequel.
I think they'd have to be prequels, aren't they? Though they're what causes the Planet of the Apes.
Well,
Unless I'm spoiling something.
it's sticky. Yeah.
I don't know. Again, I haven't seen them, but it just seemed pretty obvious that it was like, this is where it started.
Well, there's definitely a reimagining aspect to
Yes.
it.
Okay.
Just like the 2001 remake kind of changes the story up a little bit.
Yeah.
They do the same thing.
Yeah, definitely improve.
Everybody's got to
upon-
put their own twist on it.
They improve upon the story for sure.
There's a
Tim
different
Burton.
origin, and there's no space stuff in the new 3 ones.
Yeah, but I mean, okay. Anyway, I'm gonna watch these movies, and then I'll weigh back in next week. That's what I'll do, because I'm confused now. But yeah, where are we starting off on this thing, Danny? How are we breaking these down today?
Well, we do have a rating scale that we have found that is definitive and only from Uninformed Movie Reviews. Actually, it's not. It's a scale we found, but it's very good, and it's it's how we judge our RVOs. We're looking at several characteristics of the film versus the other film on a objective scale. Or, well, no, it's all subjective.
Yeah, and I think we should just try for the best say like, I don't know, Mark Wahlberg, Planet of the Apes, or I don't know how we'll delineate these two. It's going to get confusing.
It is. Was it say 2001?
2001.
A Space
1968.
3.0 plus 1.0. You cannot go back to Monkey Planet. Yeah, so I guess we'll say 2001. David actually has this scale where we can describe it.
I have it. Am I the person who has the scale? Okay, I'll get it kicked off here. Let me pull up this good old scale. Let me tell you what the first category is. So I mean, right off the bat, we got plot. Which maybe because we did this for the Star Wars episode. I think it was the first time we talked about this.
Yes.
Which really isn't a remake, but whatever. It's close enough. I mean,
That's what Disney said.
I mean, the sequels are pretty much remakes. But maybe to tighten this up a little bit, instead of doing each tiny little category, we'll just do the big ones. So, like, the first one's plot, which has to do with the story arc and the plausibility of the story. I mean, very plausible story, I feel like, for sure. Planet of the Apes.
It could happen.
Yeah, it could happen. Maybe it's happening right now. That's the way time travel works.
Yeah,
in
I
this
think
movie.
that's the beauty. I think that's the beauty of all these movies is it's like it's very, it's a far sci-fi imagining, but it really isn't that hard to fathom
Yeah.
possibility. Kind of like in the Jurassic Park kind of sense. It's like it's possible.
Yeah. Until you get to like invisible dinosaurs. Then
Yes,
you're like,
until you get to hybrid dinosaurs.
Well, I mean, I feel like this is going to be a thing that's going to be carrying on a lot throughout this episode, but definitely the 1968 Planet of the Apes is a much stronger plot than the new.
dude.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%.
I hadn't seen this movie in like, it had to have been like at least 10 years. And I was surprised at like how much I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that I watched it again today after my rewatch for research purposes.
1968.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what? It's aged better than the 2001
Yes.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes, which is kind of incredible to say.
I mean, it's cool because they kind of use the same type of makeup effects in the 2001 one, which I feel like helped it age a little better than CGI probably will for the other ones. But that's how you get that humanistic kind of portrayal out of the ape actors, I feel like. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they do look pretty good.
Yeah.
They do look pretty good.
Even in
but,
the old ones, you're right.
I mean, the old ones obviously look a little hokey, but I think we'll get more into visual part. I think that is a category actually.
So as an overall UMR gut check, we're going to say 68 beats 2001 for sure.
Oh, I mean, I feel like we could say that about this whole episode right now.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Big win on the original.
Yeah.
But we're still going to break it
We're
down.
still going to break it down.
All right. And it's time for.
Okay, so plot wise, I think the premise, we do have a couple different things, but for the most part, these two movies are almost the same.
Yeah.
Like, as far as like general overarching plot goes, a couple caveats here and there. I mean, something that sticks out to me is that in the 1968 one, that it's a crew of people. It's not just Mark Wahlberg landing by himself.
Yeah.
Which adds a bit of a different dynamic. And it also lets your hero character, you get to know him a little bit better in the beginning of the movie. Whereas Mark Wahlberg, he's just with a bunch of strangers the whole time, and all he's doing is going like, what's happening
And
right
it's
now?
not completely clear, like, are you an animal researcher? Are you a biologist? Or are you like a Air Force captain, which you say you are? Or what are you?
Yeah, he's
You know
an
what I
Air
mean?
Force captain who also trains monkeys.
Who also trains monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Air Force pilot and monkey trainer. But I do love that you get to know Charlton Heston's character because he's a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
And it adds such a nice mwah on top of everything in the original.
He's just a bit of a jerk too.
Oh, yeah,
dude.
dude.
He's so mean to his crewmates when they first land. And he also just immediately comes to terms with the situation.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's like-
immediately.
He's like, everyone's dead. We're on this planet. We're not escaping.
It's like as soon as he hops out of his little bed and does like he's like, all right, so now we're moving on with this.
Yeah.
This is the situation and this is how things are going to be. I love when one of his crewmates erects a little flag and he does that like maniacal laugh and you get that really bad like overdubbed laughter on top of it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like you can see his mouth stop moving and then the
Yeah.
overdubbing keeps going. That is pretty crazy, man. But after that, I mean, there's a lot more. I don't know. This is a shallow comment, ironically, but the 68 one's just a lot deeper of a movie. All the themes are just further explored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's really like, can this man be anyone? Where in the 68 one, none of the humans talk. But in the 2001, they do talk.
They do talk. They have language.
It makes a little less sense
Right.
why they're... Well, I mean, it makes sense why people are warring against people who aren't like them. But in the 1968 one, it's like, okay, these humans really are like
Dumb.
lesser
Animals.
people.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
animals.
They're like devolved.
Which also makes it kind of creepy too. I guess, I don't know if this counts as plot. Similarity I found in both movies is that you have to have a girl just for like arm candy.
Yeah.
There's an arm candy girl role in
That's
both these
actually
movies.
in my notes. It's like the forced relationship with Marky Mark and generic blonde human slave. like what? Like, so he's got like a thing for Ari in 2001, who
Yeah.
is Helena Bonham Carter.
The sexual tension for me in
The
in
interspecies
2001
sexual tension
is a really big problem for me.
But then it's like they also have like I don't know. Are they like trying to do like romance by proxy by saying like, I know I can't be with you. She's also physically attractive in my species. Should I be putting all my libido on her or you? And then one of them gets like, the blonde one is getting super jealous while he's like connecting with Ari. So I'm just like, you don't even know each other. Like,
yeah, they do this thing in the 2001 Planet of the Apes where whenever the three of them are in a scene, and that's Mark Wahlberg and the two lady characters, one ape, one human. Whenever Mark Wahlberg gives like even a little bit of attention to one of them, they do a quick like reaction shot of the other girl, like, it's just so weird. It's really a weird decision to make.
Yes.
interspecies love triangle.
Yeah. Whereas in the 1968 one, I guess it's Zyra, right?
Yes.
That's like the equivalent character.
The one who's compassionate.
The compassionate ape who's trying to help out the humans. In that one, she's like just a researcher, and she comes across like much more scientific. Like she just wants to know if it's possible for, whereas in the other one, it's like, this lady's into some weird stuff. What's going to happen? What's going to happen when she buys Mark Wahlberg? I don't know. It's a creepy movie.
Yeah,
A different kind of slavery.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like feeling her up when he's getting bought too. Like initially when Mark Wahlberg gets caught by the slaver and he like grabs her, he tries to like use her as like a hostage. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's also like filling her up on the shoulder. He's like, "Save me."
Yeah, that's what Tim Burton directed him to do. Actually,
really?
No, I'm just joking. It's just these directors and their wives. It's so weird. It's so weird what they have them do on camera.
I know.
But anyway,
Hollywood.
We do get some nice creepiness in the other direction in the 1968 one, and I don't know if this was supposed to be creepy, but it comes off a little bit creepy now. Is that Charlton Heston's dragging around this lady and she can't even communicate? Like she doesn't she just doesn't even have like the cognitive function that he has.
There is a question of consent there for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely creepy. Definitely creepy. But, it's like, and then it gets even creepier because, like, when they land, there was a fourth crewmate who I guess died in their hyperbolic time chamber, whatever it is they have on their ship. And it was the lady one. And then he makes a comment later in the movie, like, she was supposed to be the Eve of our expedition.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, so lady scientist is just here to pop out the kids?
Yeah, so they're...
That's what it sounded like. She might not even be a scientist.
Yeah, she might even be a scientist.
Well, he said she was, like, brilliant. So maybe she is.
They were in a light speed hibernation for populating a planet. Like they were going to be
I guess they just knew they weren't coming back. You know what I mean?
Like if the whole purpose of the experiment was to see like if that difference in time from being on Earth and then traveling at like light speed for a certain amount of time, you'd have to plan for like, well, if we're correct, like there's no way we're like coming back to Earth or it won't be in the same conditions. So we got to plan for that. Yeah. So bring a lady along.
Also, though,
and then all our kids will bang each other, and then so on and so forth.
Let's say they are right. How would they even know they're right? You know what I mean? That's a big question,
back, right? Or you do come back. I guess.
I think the whole purpose is to maybe try and come back.
I guess.
But wouldn't it take an exponentially long time to come back? Longer time?
It depends on what rules you're going by. You know,
if you're talking interstellar rules.
Yeah. If it's Futurama, you just gotta go around the loop one time.
That's
right.
What I
mean? You just gotta find yourself back there again. I have no idea. You can't dissect time travel.
And that's the difference too. Is there is more time travel in 2001 in the Planet
in the Space Odyssey? There's a lot of time travel, really. Especially it depends on how you interpret the last part of the movie. But what were we saying?
In Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes, time plays a huge part of the plot.
Oh yeah.
Versus being a part of the plot in the old one. You know what I mean? It's not, without giving too much away. Maybe we'll get to that.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about this. Can you spoil this movie? I feel like this is almost like a Luke, I am your father thing where it's like
it's so much part of the zeitgeist that it's
to a level where it's like it's your own fault if you don't know what the twist of Planet of the Apes is.
Yeah, take that, Mary.
Well, to catch your buddy up, in case you're fuzzy on the 2001 movie, at the beginning of the movie, Mark Wahlberg's like in a spaceship with some other space people.
Facts.
And then
space people.
They come across a storm, and they want to send in one of the chimps that Mark Wahlberg...
A space storm.
A space storm, yeah. Mm-hmm. They want to send one of the chimps into the storm to see what it is.
Pericles.
Yeah. That's right. Then Mark Wahlberg's like, no, that's my brother. And they put him in the ship. And they send him in through the storm.
Yeah, fun fact, that chimp is actually played by Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah, it is. On his like fourth appearance in the channel. So then he goes in, and then Mark Wahlberg's all, he's like, my brother. And then he gets into the ship, and he goes after the monkey.
Which is the smartest decision, really.
I guess, right? He goes to the storm too, and then basically, like, he lands on the Planet of the Apes, finds out that his main ship had landed there thousands of years before
in search of him,
in some sort of time travel.
The Oberon.
They hit a different tube in that wormhole.
Yeah,
just like Pericles did.
They apparently
show up at the end of the movie.
They went looking for him.
Yeah,
they did.
Thing. Yeah,
they went looking for him,
which caused them to crash. And over time, the crew, they grew old, but the monkeys that they had, the apes they had there for experimentation, turned out to be smarter than they were. The Simos or something like that. Simos was ended up being the most intelligent one and led a rebellion of these smart ones. And then, years down the line, they made smart apes.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. And then at the end of the movie, like Frank is saying, we get another tube from the storm.
But it's not Earth. That planet is not Earth.
Okay, if we're talking plot, let's get into this right now. Mm-hmm. This gets really confusing. There's nothing to suggest that Mark Wahlberg's on Earth, right?
No.
So then, at the end of the movie, which is one of the dumbest parts of the whole movie, his monkey shows up, he gets into the ship, takes off, and then he lands on what looks like Washington, D.C.
Our Earth. Yeah.
It looks normal, but then he lands in the reflection pool?
Yeah, the reflection pool at the Lincoln Memorial.
He walks upon the big statue of Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln, yeah. It's Abraham Lincoln, but it's an ape, and more importantly, it's General Thade.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then the question arises, they were on Earth then.
I think,
or he landed on the same planet again, and they just happened to make a Washington D.C. that looks exactly the same.
Monkey see, monkey do, David.
I think the
human
part,
see, human do.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
God, I think the message I got out of it, or what I thought my justification was, that in the electromagnetic storm or something like that, they just put him in a different possibility realm, a different
parallel universe.
Yeah, you know what I mean, where the possibility could be there were apes that were intelligent from their ships on an alien planet. On this, maybe the apes have always been the dominant species on Earth in this reality.
You know
what I mean?
That's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just a confusing thing to add in a whole nother form of travel right at the end of your movie.
Because it's not time at that point.
Yeah, because the whole time they're dealing with time travel. And then at the end it's parallel universe. But that's the only explanation that makes any sense.
I feel like that was a last minute gotcha. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they realized we need to have a big twist. Mm-hmm. And we got to go bigger than Statue of Liberty in the 1968 one.
So what do we got? Lincoln Ape SWAT team. All right, let's go with it.
let's do it. Whereas in the 1968 one, time travel is just, and it's very much like Interstellar. Actually, it's kind of interesting. This movie's kind of it's definitely groundbreaking. 1968 Planet of the Apes.
And one of the things that's really got going for the plot too, that lends to the strength, the way that they're kind of in the medieval age, the apes in the first movie, because it's it is Earth, you know what I mean? You're watching these apes evolve slowly, and they're following a similar path, and it's cool that you're not catching them where we were in the 60s, but you're catching them slowly along their thing.
Yeah, they are a theocracy. They're heavily governed by their
if they wanted to, they could have done 1920s apes. You have a bunch of ape gangsters with little Tommy guns.
Well, yeah, the only thing that doesn't fit in well for me in that whole, because you're right, it's definitely, that is the description of time, that would be the most apt description, is that they have guns.
In the 60s.
In the 68 one. In the 2001, they don't have guns. They don't know what guns are. This kind of makes sense. But they're also much more formidable, physically, in the 2001. Yeah. They're leaping through the air and throwing people. Whereas in the older one, it doesn't seem like they're any capably different than humans.
Yeah.
It's just that they have guns and they're in power.
And they have horses and stuff. But
But they're not
torches.
But they're not super strong.
Things.
You know what I mean? Charlton Heston grabs them pretty easily.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? The humans have that cool caveman fighting style. I love he gets in a fight with one of the guys in the cage, and I love the way he's climbing on the bars and jumping on him and just beating on him.
Yeah,
an ape. Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, there's a stark difference in that. It's more the time that plays a part in the plot in the 60s one is consequential, whereas the time in the 2001 one seems like you went messing with parallel dimensions, and this is what happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's more punitive. It seems.
Yeah, definitely more punitive for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's more or less the differences in the plot. I mean, there's a couple other categories. I don't want to get too much into theme because we're about to do that in just a little bit.
So, which are we lending it to on plot?
Oh, I mean, 100% the 1968 one. It's just a more thoughtful
1968.
movie.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get into more when we get into dialogue. I think that's a big part of it too. Okay, the next one is attraction, which is premise and entertainment value.
Both are pretty strong. I feel like.
As far as like seeing a trailer and being like, well, I have to go see this movie now. I feel like they're neck and neck.
And I did watch the 2001 trailer before I watched the movie again.
Nice.
And
that's a good move.
It definitely had that Pablo Francisco bit with the guy announcer who's just like, in a world
Oh, nice.
where apes run everything. It had that behind it. But I think entertainment value, I mean, just, honestly, I was blown away by the like overall effects and the character portrayals. And if you see like the cast listed in the trailer, like that's a solid cast in that movie. In the 2001.
Oh, in the 2001?
Yeah.
It really is. There's a lot of really good names in there. I mean, I'm not surprised at anybody, but the 1968 one to me is just way more entertaining.
Yeah.
I just think I think the 2001 one's like pretty boring, man. Like I was getting very bored like halfway during that movie.
There's a slump. There's a definite.
I was not ready for it. And I think the 1968 one is longer.
It is.
And technically like a drier movie, but it's more entertaining.
It's
if that
headier.
makes
They're
any
both
sense.
right about 2 hours, actually.
Oh, really? I could be wrong.
I feel like 2001.
112 for 68 and 120 for 2001.
Wow.
Okay. So it is longer.
Yeah, it is a little bit longer.
Okay, yeah, I
a
definitely
whole 8 minutes.
definitely feeling that too. Also, it's like it's got that
It feels like more than 8 minutes.
it's got that big dumb ending too. That big like we have to have a huge fight between the apes.
Yeah.
I
The
can't
war.
wait to get to pacing because I have a lot of complaints about the back half of that movie.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll save that for pacing. But, I mean, I'd have to myself edge it out to 68.
I would give it
Yeah.
to 68.
On premise, I'd say they're pretty neck and neck, but like you said, on entertainment value, it loses big points on 2001.
Right.
It felt like I knew it was going to be a chore, like having seen it and remembered it, and it really felt like it the whole time. But now we get to watch Harry Potter movies, so
Hey,
that's
there we
nice.
I mean, I'm going to give 2001 kudos where it's due. I had a decent time watching it, and in a way, I wish they had made more off of it, like in sequel, and like corrected the crap they did wrong. You know what I mean? But there's no room for a sequel in that movie too. They made it a nice little package,
nice little loop.
and then they ruined the end. You know, so
I hate this movie more than Danny for sure. I just like
I'm there with you, David. I did not have a good time.
I'm gonna get rid of it. You know what I mean? That's how much I am
Nice.
not enjoying this movie.
By the end of it, I felt like I was angry drunk. Like in my notes,
Yeah.
my notes were getting like more erratic and like more expletive filled. But I wasn't drinking at all.
Well, you know what
I
else?
was just drunk with anger.
I mean, I've been watching all the Resident Evil movies. I finally got my hands on the last one, so I'm gonna finish the series off.
good God.
Those are awful movies.
Yes.
But they're entertaining because they're so bad. You know what I mean? They're so bad that they're funny. Whereas in this movie, when it's bad, it's just really bad. There's no like tongue-in-cheek kind of nature to it.
Hey.
Other than the weird sexual stuff from Helena Bonham Carter. That's hilarious.
And I mean, like a good parallel between these two series is that, at least in the Tim Burton one, you know, both those filmmakers love cucking out their wives.
Yep. Yeah.
a lot of filmmakers. Lots of them.
All of them. All of them have actress wives.
Yeah,
That's what
it seems like. Like we should go on a journey to try to find like actors or like filmmakers with actor wives who don't cuck them on camera.
Yeah. That's,
Like let's try and figure that
and
out.
give them an award or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
What I want to see is like I want to see the reverse situation. I need to see a female director who's like husband. Like how does
Yes.
she treat him in a movie? This is what I'm
That'll be the
curious
follow-up
about.
episode.
The follow-up episode.
We'll do the first one for this
Yeah.
upcoming Valentine's Day, and then the next Valentine's Day we'll do that one.
Yeah. And well, maybe we should start it off with just like the biggest, like, what? Like, you directed this scene that your wife's in? Like, how dare you? That'll be the first episode.
Shame on you, sir.
to kick it off. Okay, well, we know where we stand here. Theme. Okay, talking identity and intrigue. Can we identify this theme And does it inspire thought? Does it teach us something?
Monkeys.
Well, I think both these movies have the same theme, and that's
Pretty much.
But
I think there's a little bit of a twist between the two. I think the themes like change a little bit.
well, I mean, I think there's one theme that applies to both. I should say, they have their own themes for sure, and the biggest one I think is man versus religion or man versus God, especially in the 1968 one.
Yes.
You got to think this is probably a time in the U.S. where like there is a bit of discussion about like creationism in the classroom, as there always is, but especially like in the 60s and 70s.
Oh yeah,
you got some
these young scientists and their crazy theories like evolution.
Exactly. And as an audience, it's interesting to pit a movie that is just so anti-religion in the 60s.
True.
But right off the bat, as the audience, we know, oh, your religion's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
Wait, you mean to tell me that this guy came down and got holes in his hands and came back through?
But anyway, yeah, they are, the 68 one especially is like the science, and then even their what is it? Their minister of science and keeper of the faith,
keeper of the deep, dark, dirty secrets.
Yeah, you can see it. It kind of parallels like the Catholic Church, and right before the Age of Enlightenment, where knowledge was kept hidden. So very interesting.
Whereas, as far as religion in the 2001 goes, I mean, like their religion wasn't wrong. Like their origin was completely
actually
right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It was, but it was explained
mystic.
by science.
Yeah, it wasn't mysticism or anything
so
like that. Yeah.
it's a little lighter on the theme, and there's not a lot to think about once you get to that point in the 2001
for sure
version. Whereas in the 68 one, you start thinking like, oh, well, man, like what was there before us? You know what I mean? That's what you're left thinking of at the end of the movie. There's a lot of questions that you can be asking.
Well, they dig into it a lot more in the 1968 one because people go on these long, like grandstanding, like chunks of dialogue.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
And most of it's fantastic.
It's an exposition.
It's just back when like people were okay with thinking in a movie theater. You know what I mean? Back when that wasn't so crazy.
I mean, I always argue that like the 60s was like a golden era of science fiction, you know what I mean? Especially as it started to go into film, and this is late 60s into the 70s, and we have like the birth of like Star Trek during this and everything. And, people weren't scared to be very heady on film, I'd also say that a lot of the theme in both of them is the genetic superiority and the ethical treatment of animals. You know what I mean?
Oh, interesting. Ethical treatment of animals.
Because, big old man versus nature there for sure. Are we so different?
It puts you in a reversal of roles, and especially more so in the 2001 one, I would think. Well, actually, no. In 1968, I mean, like you said, the humans don't speak.
Yeah.
They're visibly dumb.
They're like cattle. Yeah, they really are. Or they're really just like, they're like apes.
Yeah, that hunt. Well, like they corral them like in that hunt in the beginning. Like they fall right exactly where everybody was supposed to. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're stupid dumb.
Because the movies almost have that same opening scene of like Mark Wahlberg getting caught up with humans that are getting captured. But in the 68 one, it's creepier because it's like, what's up with these people? Whereas in the 2001 one, it just feels like, he's run through the woods with what's his face? What's his name?
Yeah.
Rubber Duck.
It's so funny because I still haven't looked it up on IMDb.
Chris Christopherson.
But the whole time I was like, who is this guy?
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot he's in that movie.
Great Big Convoy, man. That's Convoy right there. That's Chris Christopherson.
And shoehorned blonde. I forgot about that.
Shoehorned blonde. We love you, shoehorned blonde.
And her little Carl-like brother.
I think that
she's just pouting all over the place.
Both have several themes. Obviously, 68 is going to resonate more with its themes because I
think so.
It lays a more like pragmatic seed. Like you think about this more.
Yeah. Well, it also like just puts in the work to develop the theme throughout the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just has good filmmaking.
Yeah, that's where it really pulls ahead in like the intrigue part of the theme.
Yeah.
Because it inspires the thought because they actually take the time to like hash it out. And anytime you make Mark Wahlberg do your exposition, it's just gonna suck.
I was having some.
No, we weren't doing that.
I was having some straight up The Happening flashbacks during this movie.
It's like, oh my god, that's exactly what it felt like this moment.
It feels like both those movies were filmed in the same afternoon.
Yeah,
with like it was just him standing in front of a green screen, going, "What? No, huh?" What do you mean? And then they just plopped him in the movies. And he made a bunch of money. A bunch of money.
They had just held on to it for 9 years until The Happening was released.
Oh, man.
So we're going to hand it to 1968 on this one.
Easily.
Okay, next one's acting, which is characters and performance. I mean, we've already trashed Mark Wahlberg.
With the caveat of, as far as 1968 goes, that's what people acted like in
That's true. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's that acting voice and what's the word? Cadence.
They were acting.
Yeah, exactly. Especially Charlton Heston.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Charlton Heston.
Ham it up.
Yes, man. Charlton Heston's so hammy. And you know what? Shout out to our next CLE. We're doing the Omega Man. And Charlton Heston's going to hit it even harder in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
He's a ham.
He is, man.
But they do ham it up in 2001 a tiny bit. I mean, I feel like the direction, probably from Tim Burton, on like the actors in makeup was like, no, we need you more ape-like. Can you just like, really be like the entire time you're trying to deliver a speech or something like that.
Tim Roth's like a madman in this movie.
Tim Roth is.
As General Thade, he goes all out, man.
Is he Honey Bunny or Pookie Bear?
He's Honey Bunny.
He's Honey Bunny, I think.
Yeah. It's it's Pumpkin, isn't it?
Pumpkin. He might be Pumpkin.
Bunny. Yeah, he might be Pumpkin.
Yeah.
She's Honey Bunny, right?
She's Honey Bunny. That's right.
But yeah, man, Tim Roth, I haven't seen him snarling this much since he was just like bleeding in the back of that car. I'm dying over here.
Dying here.
I'm dying.
I mean, Michael Clark Duncan does pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, the guy never does a bad job. You know what I mean?
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Miss you, buddy.
He's a good one. But I mean, Helena Bonham Carter does okay.
Yeah, she does well.
She's not bad.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's terrible outside of Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, Paul Giamatti is great.
Paul Giamatti's really funny. He's a sniveling.
Yeah.
He's like 2000s comic relief, you know?
But his it like edges on Jar Jar Binks territory a little bit, like at parts, especially like at the end when he's like selling the little kids aspirin and stuff. He has to get his last like, aren't I the like funny monkey? Remember me? Like right before we roll credits. Yeah.
Oh, you know who's great is God, what's his name? Carrie
Ellis.
No, yes, also Carrie
Fisher.
Ellis. Carrie, I want to say like Fukugawa. Carrie Fukugawa. What's his name?
You're talking about
Atar or something.
You're talking about Trade Commissioner Tagomi.
Yes, Tagomi. Yeah, I was
Tagomi.
like, oh, it's
from Man in the High Castle.
That's
There's
right.
a guy who's in. I know Frank. Sorry. There's a guy. He might be in Castle. I don't know, but he's or not. Sorry,
In Castle Rock.
Castle Rock. I don't know if he's in Castle Rock, but he's this Japanese actor. He's just really good.
He's awesome. Yeah, but he does well in this, I think.
But they got great people, and you know what? Direction's not bad either. Really, like some of it's a little over the top, but I think that's just it's the 2000s.
Carrie Hiroyuki Tagawa.
I almost feel like I kind of want to give him a bone. Give the 2001 the acting nod,
and it's closer to modern acting.
Yeah,
pace and cadence, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, you know what? Because now that I think about it, nobody did a horrible job. Like the parts that suck with the movie are like Tim Burton and the screenwriters like problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, yeah.
I mean, aside from Mark Wahlberg,
obviously,
he's terrible.
Yeah.
He's just being Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
It's so funny. We always talk about like we've seen him act well. Yeah. Like I don't know what it is about it. He's like just like Shyamalan, very hit or miss.
What did Scorsese do to get him in The Departed? Like to get that performance?
He did great in Departed.
I don't know what he told him.
I don't know, but this was like.
He was like, listen here, Mark. We got your monkey brother in the back room. Anyway, dialogue.
I guess we'll hand it to 2001.
We'll give him one. We gotta give him. We're trying to be fair here. Dialogue, storytelling.
I feel like we're
context.
being very fair.
1968, all the way with the dialogue.
Yes.
Yeah.
All the way. And also, this is the time to shout out that the screenplay is by Rod Serling.
Huh.
And that's why this whole
Twilight
thing just
Zone's
feels
Rod
like
Serling.
I mean, this whole thing just feels like a 2-hour-long Twilight Zone episode.
That makes sense.
And there's something about Rod Serling where I think he wrote dialogue in such a way that it feels very contemporary even today. Like even watching Twilight Zone episodes, some of the stuff's older, obviously, but the way that people just talk to each other just sounds like the way people talk to each other. Kind of like Alfred Hitchcock or something. Whereas some other older movies or older shows, it just feels like, wow, this is like a script. This is like
He's just
people reading lines.
He's really good at delivering exposition in a non-exposition bomb way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got thought-provoking dialogue,
Yeah.
which is why he's great.
I have very little questions outside the obvious ones from 1968. You know what I mean? I feel like they give you everything you need in that movie.
Yeah. Whereas 2001, they're really like plopping the themes in front of you. You know what I mean? Like you do this, we're just gonna treat them dumb and apes and talk about how humans are smelly.
Points off in the 2001 for just like having to take every memorable line from 68, but then just like flipping the role.
Give it to the apes.
Yeah,
Like
get your hands off me, you damn dirty human.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
And then when Thade's dad is dying, he's like, God damn them all to hell.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't even make sense
No.
in this context.
And I was just like, oh, really? That's
Yeah.
a shoehorn.
It's so annoying. They're doing the Rush Hour 2. They're trying to pull Rush Hour 2 on us. I'm not going to let them while we're here.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of their mouths?
It's funny because the other guy said it this time. That's where the humor comes from. It's funny when we just turn the table.
Can we deduct points for storytelling from 2001 as well? For during the escape, they run around Scooby-Doo style, like through every important apes like house, like their living room and bedroom.
They all live
like,
right
why
next
when
to
you're
each other.
escape, like why not run through the streets? Like why are you running through people's houses?
You know what it's giving me flashbacks of? And it was also like Paul Giamatti's outfit too. It's like How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the live action one.
You know
Yeah,
that?
for
That
sure.
whole part feels very like Whoville. And there's a couple of those monkeys who just look like the Grinch. They just look very Grinchy.
Probably use the same like fur supplier.
Maybe though. It's kind of close, isn't it? 2001. It's right around
I
there.
bet it is.
The Grinch is 2000, I think.
Yeah. It's okay. So there's got to be some kind of similarity in the design. but-
Maybe it was the same company. I'm gonna Danny Two Hands that.
Oh, hit it.
But is that any more? Is that any less ridiculous than Charlton Heston running around that village for like 20 minutes?
It's true. That's exactly how that would go down.
Yeah, I guess that is true. It was like cornering a wounded
Yeah.
animal for sure.
He was just like, I gotta go somewhere. I have no idea where I am. That's exactly how that would go down.
Oh man. Okay, but dialogue. Okay, this is another handily for the 68. Cinematography, the visual language, camera work, obviously, and then lighting, setting, and wardrobe. This is interesting because I don't know if I'd count. I think that we need to include wardrobe maybe with editing and effects, which is next. Just because in Planet of the Apes in particular, it's so like effects driven. You know what I mean? Every character is like a costume.
So we'll just we'll lump wardrobe over in editing effects and just go lighting, setting, and visual language.
Yeah, visual language. There's some like experimental-esque shots in the 1968 Planet of the Apes that I'm not entirely behind. Like when they find that waterfall, there's this really like nauseating tracking shot, like while it's zooming in.
Yeah.
That really bothers me. There's also like a scene, I think it's the scene in the village we were just talking about where Charlton Heston's getting chased around. There's this part, and I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to incorporate the audience into the camera, the frenetic camera work, I guess, like things stumbling or whatever. But the camera literally like turns over for a second and then like picks up in the other direction and follows Charlton Heston as he's running up these stairs. And it was like, ugh, it just hurts to look at. I don't know. I get what they're trying to do, and maybe it's a 60s thing I'm not used to.
Yeah, man. They were just out in the desert. Probably a couple of them were hippies, you know what I mean? Smoking on that devil's lettuce.
Yeah.
They were trying to get weird with that camera operation.
They were doing some weird stuff. And then this is a big one for me, but the last shot of the movie, they're using some kind of editing-based tracking instead of a camera-based tracking. Where, and I don't know if this is, I need to explain this in a way, like, for instance, right now we're on a video. If you're watching us on YouTube, go check out, Uninformed Movie Reviews on your preferred platform. But I could automate a zoom in on Frank right now, and it would look different than if I were to actually zoom in with a camera. It's just that, and I don't know how they did that in the 60s, but when you see the shot, you can tell that it was like a much bigger shot that they had zoomed in on and then gradually cut back.
Is that when they reveal the Statue of Liberty?
The full Statue of Liberty, yeah.
Yeah.
And it just looks super dated. I wish they had done something more practical with like zooming and camera work there. like set up a dolly on the beach or something.
Like they were comfortable working that thing. We've seen the evidence.
Yeah.
Why not go for it on this last one? It would have been an easy thing.
And I think it's the only one in the movie that's like that too.
Maybe they just like forgot, like, or like it was an afterthought. You know what I mean? Like, you know what we should have done?
And also at that point, they'd already shown the, whatever you call them,
The thorns or whatever.
the thorns,
or
the crown or whatever.
Yeah.
Why not just cut to just a big wide shot of the whole thing? Like, why have to do one more zoom in on Charlton Heston and then reveal? It's like, we already know what's coming. Or at least we have a hint of what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm just complaining about stuff no one cares about.
No, I totally agree. Honestly,
Hey, isn't that what we're here to do?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I honestly think that the cinematography in the Planet of the Apes 2001 was great. I think it's fine.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I had no
really
problem
cool
with it.
shots. Cool action shots.
And to give 1968 its own due, there's a lot of stuff that looks great.
Oh, there's so many
Beautiful
stuff that
vistas.
looks good. Oh, yeah, so many vistas. I was like, man, this looks like Utah. And then I looked it up and it was like Utah and California.
Utah, California, along the Colorado River.
A little bit of Grand Canyon in there too, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like all my complaints aside, I want to give it to 68 just for the experimentation. I mean, I agree with Danny. 2001 looks good.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if they're doing anything
groundbreaking.
worth mentioning. You know what I mean? It's just...
And it does have that early 2000s, like, Tim Burton, like, darkness to it. It's a lot
Yeah.
darker for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah.
On the,
And that's like, okay, yeah, I get it.
yeah.
No, we're the edgy Planet of the Apes.
Which also helps in all your ape costumes look better when
Yeah.
everything's just like kind of dark.
That's
What
true.
does this look like? I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't think it really matters at this point, but who would you give it to? Cinematography.
Let's ceremoniously give it to 1968 to just really pound 2001
Why
into the
not?
ground at the end of
I
this.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, editing and effects. We're talking about the pace and the tone.
Oh, boy.
And we're talking about the effects, visual effects, or special effects.
And the wardrobe.
And wardrobe.
Yeah.
We're lumping wardrobe over
I mean,
here.
I would probably have to hand wardrobe to the newer one, to 2001, because, I mean, just time and practical effects has,
Yeah.
exponentially gotten better. But also the costumes are cool. I think the costumes are nice. I like that there's, different war armor for the generals and stuff, and what Michael Clark Duncan's character wears,
Yeah.
versus like the togas that like the humans are wearing in 1968. And you can, obviously you can tell like it's like a costume that the apes in 1968, like the chimpanzees are wearing. You know what I mean? Like they got like a crest here and it's a robe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm trying not to just make it a date-based thing because, obviously 60s one's going to look worse. But even then, I think the 2001's costumes are a little more thought out. There's like a little more character to each costume. The one thing I think is hilarious in the 2001 though is that everyone's shoulders are completely stiff.
Yeah.
So they walk like the guys from Galaxy Quest.
Yeah. Huddle in.
Yeah, they huddle in like that. That's how all the apes walk in that movie, unless they're pouncing. Then they have...
Unless they're going full ape.
Yeah.
And that's a really good time to bring up. I would have to agree with all of your points, but I feel like 2001 just has to lose, like, if we were going like 1 to 10, I feel like we'd have to deduct some points for the integration part of effects, because they don't blend seamlessly. There's some parts where they try to articulate different words, and you can tell it's definitely like a CGI mouth. Also, in a lot of the big scenes, a lot of the extras, like, I don't understand why some apes, especially the soldiers, run ape style and some just like do the slow monkey walk. I feel like it takes you out of the story for a second.
And
a
at
little
some
bit.
point, they kind of give up on the waddle. Like at the beginning of 2001, like all of them are like kind of waddling as they like normally walk around. And even like that senator's, like sexy primate wife, like she does the whole,
she
like,
does the sexy dance?
yeah, like that. But then they just give it up after a while, and they're just walking like normal.
Very consistent in 1968 on the monkey walking, and I like that the different types of apes have the different walks. They walk like those apes would.
That is good.
Yeah,
They definitely like go into like the role of like societal roles of all the different species more in 1968 versus 2001. They just kind of say like, they
We're
just
just
have them
apes.
like wardrobe. Yeah. They don't have like the hierarchy of all the different species and stuff like that.
yeah. It seems like they just ended a caste system. Like their caste system had like just been outlawed.
Who we handing it to on
Well,
that?
we're missing the other half though, the editing part, which is pace and tone.
Okay, so
And I mean,
here's-
here's-
yeah, you've been wanting on
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here's where we're gonna lose big time for me on 2001. I feel like I didn't notice it as much in the first part of the movie, but really like in the back half of maybe like the last hour of the movie, I feel like they really start rushing that story along. Man, it starts feeling like. That feeling where you're trying to fight sleep during a movie and you keep dozing off for like a minute or two at a time and the plot gets like a little muddy. That's
Yeah.
how I felt watching the back half of Planet of the Apes, especially once they're like in the desert. It gets very yada yada-y. I got a big problem with, I think that whole journey from them leaving that village to getting to the shipwreck. It's like over a couple of days, right?
Yeah.
And in those couple of days, somehow word about like
Yes.
Marky Mark
Okay, thank
has
you.
traveled all the way around to
Yeah.
all these villages. And also all these villages scattered across everywhere. They all show up at the exact same time
Yes.
from every single direction and in like a 360, get out of here.
And then like Shoehorn Blonde is just like, well, where else are they gonna go? They've heard of your.
They've in this number of days, word has traveled so fast that
Yeah.
everybody's dedicating their lives to you.
But also, how do you know Shoehorn Blonde? You don't know these people.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, give her a
Did you
break.
see it
This
on
is her-
Twitter?
This is her first time having dialogue in the movie. Okay, you gotta cut her some slack.
It's true.
No, I'm so glad you brought this up. I was literally confused when this part of the movie came on.
I forgot about it when we were talking about plot, so I was
Yeah.
like, I'll bring it up in pacing because it's all
And-
lumped in there.
Here's what happened. The original is a movie about like being thoughtful. You know what I mean? Like having a plot, having characters develop, having plot twists. In this new one, they're like, okay, we've already done all this actiony stuff at the beginning. How are we going to end this thing? Well, we got to have them all fight. Okay, well, who are they going to fight? There's only just Mark Wahlberg and Pouty Blonde Lady. They're like, let's just bring all of them. Let's
Yeah.
just bring all the humans.
All the humans.
They got out. I don't know how they got out. The apes told them. The apes were talking about Mark Wahlberg. Who even said this? Who spread this message? The humans don't have any way to contact each other. They're in cages. It doesn't make any sense.
No, I don't think those were caged humans. Those are still like the humans that are out like in
the
their
other
tribes.
tribes.
And they're,
Yeah.
that makes even less sense.
Yeah.
You know
Right?
what I mean? It just, the more you think about
How?
it.
Who is spreading this message? Birds? Is it like an owl-based message system?
Yeah, and I mean, this goes back a little more to plot, but then Mark Wahlberg's whole plan that he literally comes up with in minutes, that he also almost endangers the entire mission because that kid ran out into the middle of nowhere, which I don't know how he ran out, grabbed that kid, and then outran those apes.
That whole battle though, serious Battle of the Bastards vibes.
That's where they got it from.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's where they got it from.
I'm pretty sure.
But who knows what would have happened when he turned those engines on? He could have blown up the whole ship. And
Dude, not
blown
only
them up
that,
too.
like they beat the first wave, but the rest of the army was on
Yeah.
their way. If like Mark Wahlberg's chimp buddy hadn't have shown up when he did, they were about to get the crap beat out of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like they were going to die, all of them,
And
every
if,
single one.
If all those apes weren't just like so spooked by that thing, they could have easily just beat them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And they're so much stronger than humans in that one.
Oh,
that
big
it's
time.
unfeasible. The
They're like
battle they're having.
There's a few like uppercut shots they get, and then people just go flying through the air. It's hilarious.
Yeah, General Thade like throws Mark Wahlberg in the air with
Yeah.
one hand.
It's crazy. They needed a scene of like, or they needed to be like in a canyon or something where they could have put in booby traps or something like that. You know what I mean? Because otherwise, it doesn't make sense how these humans could even feasibly fight these apes.
I don't know how Mark Wahlberg knew how to fly that entire ship anyways. I mean, I get it. He's a pilot and he's a future pilot.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also like a biologist and like a monkey trainer too. So
Well, he's in the U.S. Air Force.
I forgot they
he
teach you
says
that.
it multiple times. Okay, and he also trains apes. All right, and he runs a hamburger restaurant with his brothers. Only one of them is an ape. Okay, so just relax on Mark Wahlberg a little
His 4 brothers until one of them is murdered, and then they're hell bent on revenge.
bit. Dang, spoiler alert.
great movie.
Okay, this is a weird one for me, but sound and music. First off, I don't know if either of these movies even has music that's
Memorable?
memorable.
The
notable.
music I kind of didn't like. I don't remember the music from 1968, but I do remember disliking a lot of the music in 2001, and it's a shame because that's Danny Elfman.
It's
man.
Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with it, but I didn't notice it.
Yeah, I don't even know if I wouldn't even rate either one of these.
Same's with 1968 though, because I don't notice.
Like
it.
I said, I don't remember it, but I do remember going, It's kind of lame in 2001.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. So we give it a 68 on Frank's. This is kind of lame. I mean, I don't think there's really too much more sound design.
Sound design.
Get some nice monkey sounds.
Yeah. There's obviously like the problems with the like overdub stuff in 1968, but
yeah.
And I'm gonna bring up this in execution as well. All the stuff that's bad about 1968 is part of it's good bad versus the bad that is 2001.
Yeah.
I almost got annoyed by how many like ape shrieks I heard in the 2001 one. In you know
too
what I
many
mean?
shrieks.
Too many.
Okay.
Too much monkey
You
stuff.
heard it here first, everyone. Too many ape shrieks for Danny.
Was like a lot.
And it was blaringly loud.
Yeah. So yeah, you know what? I would take away
That's
even
funny.
more points for like the mix because the shrieks were incredibly loud.
I forgot about that because last night I was turning the TV down and I even made a joke. I was like, I don't want our neighbors to know we're watching the Planet of the Apes remake. This is too loud.
It is quite loud.
It is so loud.
It is a loud movie. They're trying to like overload your ears so that you forget how terrible of a time you're having.
Nice, Danny.
Maybe if we have a lot of explosions, this will be exciting.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Danny. I'm glad we had even more to poo-poo on in this category for 2001.
Beautiful.
Giving
Chef's
that to
kiss.
68.
Great point.
Okay, so last but not least, directing, vision, and execution. I mean, Tim Burton needs to stop doing remakes. That's all I'm going to say. We saw the Willy Wonka one, and we saw this one. We've seen both the Tim Burton remakes. I was taking a note of like, maybe we need to watch like some better Tim Burton movies on the channel. I feel like we've picked the two worst Tim
They're
Burton
kinda
movies
hard,
there are.
you know? It's kind of hard to.
There's a lot of good
There's
ones.
some good
though,
ones.
man.
Big Fish.
Sweeney
That's
Todd,
true. Sweeney Todd.
Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah.
I mean,
Beetlejuice?
I'd even go.
Beetlejuice.
I'd even go as far as to say Nightmare and Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
I don't dig it.
I've never seen all of it.
It's pretty sweet.
I've got a thing with this movie. I can't stay awake through it. I fall asleep every time.
I also just love stop motion, so it might be part of it. But I mean, I still like this one better than the Willy Wonka that he did.
Oh yeah, but that's what I was gonna say though.
Yeah, if I had to watch one.
But it's also just that like neither one of his remakes does he do more than just like kind of adding his coat of paint to it.
Yeah.
Like
He just puts the Tim Burton skin on it.
yeah, I just need to like make this movie again, but a little bit darker. Throw Helena Bonham Carter in there. Call it a day.
Someone cucked my wife.
Yeah, anybody. Grandpa Joe.
I gotta say, I didn't even know that Tim Burton did this before I rewatched it this time.
Really?
I did not know this was a Tim Burton movie before I rewatched it for
You
this
didn't realize
video.
it was a Tim Burton joint?
Did not, and it didn't come off as noticeable until I was just like, okay, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Within the first 10 minutes.
Okay, I see that. I see that now.
What's Oogie Boogie doing here? So yeah, I mean, and then execution, terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The execution's bad, man.
There's a huge second act slump in 2001,
Yeah.
and that ending is nausea-inducing. Like,
There's so many issues, man. There are some stuff that I noticed about 1968, some like blenders, if you will. And a lot of them, some of them are just like things that really tickle me because they don't make sense for the characters. So like Charleston Heston's, he's this tough guy, you know what I mean? He's so tough that he's thrown into this crazy situation and he's like, that's fine. This is how I'm going to overcome this. But he's also the type of dude who, when jumping out of the airplane, when they're in that lake, he like covers his nose like a toddler jumping into a swimming pool. And I took a screenshot for you guys. Maybe throw it into the edit later, David. I just want you guys to see. Oh God, it's so funny, man. I'm so glad I noticed it because it tickled me pink. Maybe I deleted it.
That's so funny that you bring that up because I also had a screenshot that I wanted to bring up.
No way.
Yeah, this screenshot perfectly expresses my feelings towards the 1968 Planet of the Apes. That screenshot encapsulates what watching that movie is like.
yes.
100%. All right.
That's fantastic.
And I'll be sure to throw the scene up on it so you guys can check it out. I just got to remember what part of the podcast this is in.
I'll try to send you a time code, David.
Oh, man. But while Frank's looking that up, though, I mean, I feel like we can't undervalue either just how monumental this plot twist is, being one of the, like, biggest plot twists ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, Charlton Heston
Perfect.
looks like such a little baby in this picture.
Yeah, right. He looks like a cute little baby.
He almost
Like
just needs
his-
to put his hand on top of his head.
Or we need to edit like a dad underneath, like waiting to catch him. You know what I mean? Oh, so funny.
Some would argue it's a perfect execution in 1968 because it's stood the test of time as like one of the best twists ever
Oh yeah.
in
For
film.
sure.
Oh, and the only other problem I really noticed was when they're running around buck naked after they go on their nice
yeah.
little naked swim. And then also right after, both of his crewmates are like at penis level with him for a second when they
Yeah.
see the footprints. When they're when they're running through the high grass, you can like see the like flesh toned
Underwears.
underwears that they're wearing.
Yeah.
Which bothered me a little bit. I'm like, why don't you just pick that shot up a little bit?
Yeah.
Just cut in a little bit closer. It was easily avoidable. Besides that, perfect. Nailed it.
Yeah. A curious amount of Charlton Heston butt in this movie. Like, I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting this much. I forgot about this.
They had to sell the movie.
And not enough Mark Wahlberg butt in 2001, so to Doug points again.
So there we go. In the butt category, we got to give it a 68. Just like pretty much every other category on this list today.
Apparently, like, the studio's 20th Century Fox had like shopped around the idea of the Planet of the Apes remake for a while, and they tried it with like Chris Columbus. They tried it with James Cameron.
Could have been interesting.
They tried it with Peter Jackson, which would have been pretty dope.
Dang, that could have been really cool.
They
But
all passed up.
wow.
Or like, nah.
Oliver Stone too. Crazy.
Wow. So they got all the way down to Tim Burton.
I would argue that James Cameron would probably do the best job with it.
Maybe. Or maybe I would go Peter. I'd bet my money on
Peter Jackson. Oh yeah, for sure. Be bloodier. Should have been bloodier.
Blood is good. I like blood.
Could have been.
Yeah.
They would have had better costumes in the
Oh,
Peter Jackson
for
one.
sure.
Well, I mean, a surprise to no one, but the 1968 Planet of the Apes classic, definitely way better. The 2001.
We haven't hit the it factor yet, but
It Factor. I forgot about It Factor.
come on.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like It Factor almost doesn't even count for a remake, too, just because
It's like
that's why you're remaking it, because it has the It Factor.
It
You know
is
what I mean?
no longer one of a kind. If he would have done something really crazy and different with it,
Yeah.
like maybe we could have given it to it on like innovative and pioneering. But like you said, he just like schlocked his paint on it and called it a day.
You would have had to come up with an even crazier plot twist at
That's
the
the
end.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And I
that's-
think
that's tall
I think
order.
he thought it was.
Oh, yeah. They,
know what I
they
mean?
thought, this is going to be so insane.
Oh, that's the new twist. Oh yeah. Let's print it.
Abraham Lincoln, no. No.
No, thank you.
Yuck.
Yeah, when you guys said like, we're doing the 2001, and I was just like, oh, bummer. there's
You're
like
like,
a good.
I didn't realize that's what this meant.
I was like, oh, there's a good trilogy.
You know, I'll watch them so I can argue with you some more. I just can't see how these other ones are remakes, though.
Okay, so now I guess we could get into it.
They're they're soft reboot prequels.
They're soft,
C-boots.
They're soft
Yeah.
reboot prequels. Like
pre-boots.
Rise of the Planet of the Apes, talks about genetic engineering.
Yeah.
And then they escape that engineering lab, and they escape into the wilderness. And then Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is when they've increased their numbers, and it's going later down the line. But at the same time, there's this simian flu. So the apes actually have this contagious flu, like
outbreak.
like COVID-19, that like goes through.
If we hadn't gotten tired of doing the COVID theme at the beginning of COVID, we could have done the Planet of the
That's
Apes.
true. That's true. And so it's taking out a lot of like humanity. And then by the time of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, it's taken out like a lot of humanity, and apes have their own culture. They're starting to fight back. And there's like this whole man versus ape thing in it. And then in War of the Planet of the Apes, it's pretty awesome. But also at the same time, it's like about one ape, which is Caesar.
Yeah.
And how he goes in through all that. But Caesar is actually he's the dad.
inventor of the salad.
Hang on, let's not
Yeah,
spoil
you're giving him all the plot points to a movie he hasn't seen
Yeah.
before.
Anyways, it's great.
Okay.
There's a whole other component to it.
This just sounds hard prequel though.
It is a prequel.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't see how this could be a reboot, is what I'm saying.
Because they don't follow the same reason for how
Yeah.
the apes came to be. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like he just changes some of like the plot
But
points.
it's also just like the core plot though. Like man lands on undiscovered planet ends up being something different.
Oh, sure.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there's
Whereas
no.
in this one, it's really more like, let me show you how the apes took over the planet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's never mentioned. I mean, no scientific or genetic engineering was ever mentioned in either 2001
Yeah.
or 1968.
That's true.
It's just the course of nature.
But we just have to assume that something
No, in 2001
happened.
they are experimenting on the apes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, that's
yeah,
true.
they are
It's
experimenting on
their
apes in
plan.
2001.
It's their plane or their plane.
Yeah.
Their spaceship that causes it. Yeah. Okay. Well,
Are they genetically engineering them though in 2001?
Yeah, they're performing
2001, they're at least doing
surgeries on
something.
them and stuff.
I
Yeah.
think they're doing performative tests and stuff, but I don't think they're messing with their genetic code or anything like that.
No, yeah,
Well,
they're enhanced.
Really?
Like
They juiced them?
yeah,
They juiced them.
Oh, I missed my opportunity. Damn it. What an idiot. I love a good juiced. But yeah, that's exactly what happened. They Pericles is juiced.
Okay.
Dang.
He's super juiced.
So he
he mentions it several times.
We can almost deduce 6 degrees of juicing in every movie we find. And we're going to have to now.
Especially we watch I don't know, what's that movie with Mark Wahlberg? Curiously,
Rockstar?
No,
Oh.
the one where he's juicing.
Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain. There we go.
I don't think I've ever seen
I
that.
never saw it.
Yeah,
but
I
he's
just remember the
juicing.
trailers.
All right, well, let's put this monkey to bed, right?
Yeah.
Oh, how cute.
Go watch the new trilogy. It's really good.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I will.
So we're talking to you, David.
Maybe I will.
Which one do you like better? Send us a hateful email at uninformedmoviereviews@gmail.com
You can send us nice emails too if you want.
or comment below.
Yeah, that too.
Give us a thumbs up and an ad and a subscribe and a save for later.
Wow.
Wow.
Any other ones?
Yeah.
Add us to one of your
Making a lot of
playlists.
requests.
Send us to your mother.
So where are we going next, Daniel?
Well, we are going to have to kick it on over to character limit extended.
All right, I'm really excited to see how that comes out. I have no idea what it's going to sound like, but I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy it.
All right.
So we are talking about our last CLE, which was The Mist, my birthday pick.
Hey, there it is.
There it is.
And I am referring to the shelf right behind us.
Yeah.
Hey, there we are.
Where that
There it
movie
is.
is. Yeah.
Made from the novella by Stephen King. I think before we get that, though, it was a birthday pick for me. My birthday was last week, and these guys let me pick it.
We did.
And
We only did it because those are the rules. We only did it because we also want that.
Yeah.
We don't want you to think you're too special.
that's
you know
true.
what I mean?
Well, being on theme today, these guys got me gifts, and Frank neatly
Yeah.
wrapped this banana.
Maybe his mom.
I didn't
Yeah.
do it exactly for Planet of the Apes. That's just the wrapping paper I've just been
Yeah.
using for the last year or two. And that's the last bit of it. I ran out of it today.
Aw, what
That's
a quinky
just the coincidence, yeah.
I feel like it's just so neatly wrapped. I'm just so impressed. Anyways,
If I don't nail it, I'll throw the paper and start over
this
again.
had better be a shoebox worth of rocks.
Like the rocks are monetarily the same worth of a shoebox.
I just ruined the beautiful wrapping paper that we had.
Well,
All wrapping paper goes in the trash
that's
eventually.
how it should be.
Yeah.
I hate those people who are being super careful.
Rip it. That's the
They're
best
like,
part.
I want to save the paper. I'm like, what?
Get that animalistic satisfaction.
Ooh, baby. Oh, wow. Looks like Frank went to the bank. He got me some tannerite. I can make things
Tannerite.
go pew pew and boom boom.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Dude, we're going to have to
Big
do this.
bada boom.
I'm not going to use this until you're there with me.
Let's go right now.
All
Blow 'em up.
right.
Let's pause this. We'll go blow something up really quick, and we'll come right back.
Let's just blow
do
them
it
up.
in
I'm not
David's
even going to take
backyard.
them out of the package. I'm just going to shoot them like this.
Make it, shake it, shoot it.
Woo, that's awesome, buddy. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Bang! All right, and moving on to Mr. Pena's and the Pena's gifts.
Well, you know what? Actually, this is not for me. It's from Michelle.
Aww.
I have a gift for you, but it's in the mail.
Oh, that's
Because I'm
okay.
too late.
Oh, thank you.
I'm always late.
This one goes out to Mitch. Thank you very much, Mitch.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got here.
What could it be? Feels
Very cool.
book-esque.
Man, you guys got me some Junji Ito.
I was gonna say it looks a little weeby over there.
Uzumaki. Maybe you've noticed I've been wearing a ton of Junji Ito shirts lately. Dude, this is awesome. Wow.
Oh wow, it works backwards because
We
it's
did notice.
Japanese. That's
It's-
crazy.
It's all Japanese. Man, thank you guys so much.
Of course. Well,
You know,
again, it's, really Michelle.
that's what good
well, he
friends
has to get
do.
it on record so that Michelle can hear it while you're
Yeah.
editing.
There we
See,
go.
this is what good friends do. They pay attention.
There you go.
This is awesome, man. Thank
Every
you.
once in a while.
Thank you guys so much. Both of you. And you, Michelle. You rock.
There we go.
Thanks for thinking about it. Okay, so moving on.
Happy birthday.
Hey.
So
Now we don't have to worry about you again until next year.
moving on over moving on to character limit extended. Who got the Hemingway?
I was the Hemming daddy.
Frank,
Why don't you go ahead and lead
Yeah.
us into discussion?
So The Mist. Can't say enough good things about The Mist, and that's all I'm going to say. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, like easily like in one of my favorites, not like top tier gold S tier favorite, but I love this movie. I probably watch it every couple of years. Love that ending. Gotta love a soul crushing ending. I feel like all the effects are great. Everybody does a fantastic acting job. I love that society breaks down exactly the way it would, and I love how quickly it does it. It's like over the span of what, like 73 hours, like this whole thing.
Well, it's even less than 2 days.
Yeah.
It's less than 2 days at the point of when they leave the grocery store, which
Especially when
is
they're speaking, all of them are speaking in the garage, and he's, was it? He's just saying like, oh, the people aren't going to get that bad. I think Andrea's character is saying, oh, things aren't going to get that bad. And it's just like, we'll start taking people's security away and start taking their food away, and you'll see how quickly they turn on each
a
other.
day later, there's a cult.
yeah.
And then a day after that, that cult murders somebody.
Yeah, they start sacrifices. Yeah.
They're about to kill that kid, man. I love how desperate that movie gets. I love everything about that movie. Get the whole Walking Dead crew.
Seriously, that's. I wish more movies ended like this. I need, you know what I mean, like a realistic,
Well,
tragic.
they can't
ending.
all, you know what I mean? Because then it loses its punch, its
That's
panache.
true. That's true. I mean, I'll watch this movie at least once a year, just like stumble upon it and be like, why not? It has a great
I'll watch
ending.
The Mist.
You know?
If there's like 45 minutes left in The Mist and I turn to the channel, I'm like, all right, cool. That's what I'm doing for the next 45 minutes. I'm down. This is the best part.
Yeah, that's true.
The monster design is awesome. I mean, the whole premise of the movie is great. You know what I mean? Like a government experiment into parallel dimensions leads to this extra dimensional mist bringing characters into a mountain town, and the army screws up, and then they're just like hightailing it out of there.
It is weird. I thought one weird thing was like this movie came out 2007. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And the soldiers make some point about, yeah, we're headed over there. You know what I mean? And that over there is still essentially the same over there where we are right now, 14 years later, because we're in a forever war on terror.
Oh, yeah, you did say that.
I mean,
yeah.
if you're reading that book in the 90s, it'd still be the same place.
Yeah. Yeah, for reals.
That's pretty crazy.
Longest war in American history.
Yeah, I mean, I really love everything about The Mist. It's just, it's a great watch. I forgot about that really intense, like, it sounds Middle Eastern, the music they hit right at the end when they're finally driving through the mist.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds
There's
like music that would be in The Gladiator.
It's like a
Yes.
call to prayer almost.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
it's very spiritual kind of music. That's a really interesting part of the movie. Something that stood out to me too. I'll be honest, I'm a CGI snob. CGI is not great in the movie. There's some couple dated ones. Watching some behind the scenes stuff, I found out that this was almost exactly what happened with the Thing reboot. Is that there were practical puppets for everything. And then I think they just decided to add CGI on top of it. Although some parts of the puppets do come through a little bit more. And I should say some scenes, though, are straight up, like, especially like when that kid is getting pulled under the
the tentacle?
the door.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
There is one of those where it is just legitimately a rope tied to his leg.
Nice.
And they CGI the whole thing. But a lot of other parts of that scene, it is a real tentacle that they made, like a prosthetic,
Crazy.
but then touched up with CGI.
Okay.
I think that's just kind of an interesting thing, but
Well, I know those flying things that attack the store, some of them were actual practical effects. And
some of it looks really good. It's just the ones that have to move more or that are close up, like the spiders.
Yeah.
The little Spideys don't look bad, but little Spideys ain't that hard.
Yeah.
I almost like how all the monsters share a characteristic that's similar in like the crazy face. You know what I mean? They all kind of have a weird little crazy face, like the spider does. And if I remember correctly, like that giant thing that's like walking when they're in the car.
Yeah.
It's a really cool character design in all of them, I feel like.
It reminds me a lot of Final Fantasy Spirits Within, CLE coming soon, where it's not, you get the kind of assumption after watching the movie that it's not just like, it's not an army of evil things coming through. It's really just like a portal to another world. Mm-hmm. And all kinds of stuff are coming in. You know what I mean?
That's just nature.
Big
It
buggies.
seems like it's the world where the Oompa Loompas come from. Like everything's just eating everything.
Dang. Vermicious canids.
Yeah, then maybe we saw a couple of vermicious canids. We know what they look like. We just didn't know we were looking at them.
Yeah, you might be right, man. You might be right. I feel like there's something else I wanted to toss out here. I just think it's really funny. I saw this thing about like Frank Darabont talking with Stephen King. And basically, like, he had wanted to do this movie for a long time. He ended up doing Shawshank Redemption first, which is just kind of crazy.
What a great accident. I mean, that's awesome.
Actually, the first thing that Darabont ever made was a short, and it's based on a Stephen King short. And
really?
It's I don't remember what it was called. It's like The Woman in the Room or something like that.
Lady in Red?
No, but it's not even horror related. Wait, I feel like it's actually really close to Lady in Red.
I'll look.
But anyway, it was just interesting because basically, like, Frank Darabont or Stephen King saw that short that Darabont made, and it kind of inspired him to be like, you know what, maybe people can be making movies out of my books. And then that's when they like did the Carrie movie, you know what I mean? And then, just all these crazy huge movies are coming out.
Oh, he did the Green Mile too.
But yeah, he said that after Frank Darabont did Shawshank Redemption.
I'm sorry, The Woman in the Room.
The Woman in the Room.
The Woman in the Room.
He did The Blob too.
Yeah, the 80s one anyways.
And The Fly too. Ooh.
But after he did Shawshank Redemption, he apparently Stephen King just told everyone after that if anyone showed any interest in The Mist, he'd be like, no, sorry, like Frank Darabont has dibs on The Mist. Like I can't. He has all the rights to it. So,
dude,
that's pretty tight.
It's pretty crazy.
It's good to know.
Yeah. And and King's even said that like he prefers the movie's ending to his own ending. He's like, this is just.
I had read that blurb somewhere.
He's like, I wish I had came up with this ending. This is great. So.
It's sad that they did go to Darabont, I guess, to make that show because that show is garbaggio.
Which one?
The Mist.
Oh, they went to Frank Darabont for the show?
I'm guessing so. If they had to make an IP off of it.
Well, I'm sure they had to do something. I don't know how those, but I doubt he. Well, who knows? After Walking Dead, he was probably too burned to do another TV
true.
show.
Please don't make me do another one.
Yeah.
If anyone has seen this show, please comment and trash on it all you want on our thing, because I'll join you. If you haven't seen it, don't. I think it's on Netflix now, like the entirety of it. It was one season only.
Well, you know what? In your review, you made a joke about it being like a sci-fi show, but it's Spike.
Oh, even worse.
Which is even worse. That's
yeah,
exactly what I
true.
thought when I saw it. I was like, oh, God.
Yikes.
A Spike TV original
Like, we love us
series.
some Deadliest Warriors,
Yeah.
but the production on a Spike TV, it's got
Sci-fi's kind of hit or miss, though. Actually, Sci-Fi probably would have done it nicely because they did actually a really good Dune show that's supposed to be really good. CLE coming this Christmas for Dune.
It's a long movie. Well, I'm assuming it will be anyway.
Yeah, probably an RVO, to be honest. Anyway.
Oof. Sting. I don't know. I don't know if I have anything else to say about The Mist.
I mean, this is one of the best movies ever made, and it's a nice, contained little story.
Yeah.
That's what's cool.
Real tight.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Danny. But
I think it's still one of the best movies ever made.
best movies ever made.
I think so.
How long is that list? How many movies?
I've got a lot on there.
3,000.
6,000 movies.
Particularly because of the ending.
If your list is like 500 movies, then yeah.
Yeah. I'm not
If
talking.
your list is like 15 movies.
No.
Well,
Okay.
Danny scores things a lot like they score things at the end of the first Harry Potter movie, where like he has no problems awarding a crazy amount of points, like at the very end
For
at the
the
final
plot.
total. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like, I really like this one thing, 1,000 points to Gryffindor. I really hated this one thing, negative 3,000 points to Slytherin.
Hard spite rank.
Yeah.
Hard spite rank.
I think I'm going to need one of those like rating charts like GMM Instagram that Link has. It's like, is this the best film of all time, or is it just good for you?
Yeah, this is there's some delineations that'll be made here.
Yeah, what'd you think of The Mist? Let us know. Comment below. Send us an email at uninformedmoviereviews@gmail.com. Well, that wraps up Character Limit Extended, everyone. That looks like it's going to kick us on over to...
Oh, that's interesting. Hey.
Oh, wow.
I got another 2 articles for you all. Weeb news, weeb news, weeb news.
Even more weeb news.
I'm just joking.
Why do we keep doing?
I'm just joking. There's no weeb news here.
It's like this can't be a thing.
Okay, so I figured we just did a Mark Wahlberg movie, so who better to talk about but Matt Damon, right? So anyways, this is a funny story.
I think I know this one.
It's from today. It's from July 20th.
Yeah, take that,
2021.
Danny.
Ooh, we'll see.
By Allison Zata, a Screen Rant article that says why Matt Damon's daughter refuses to watch Good Will Hunting.
Oh, man.
Despite Damon's movie
She doesn't like those apples.
despite Damon's movie star status, it seems not everyone in his family acts impressed. In an interview on CBS Sunday Morning to promote Stillwater, Damon revealed that his 15-year-old daughter...
I was going to ask if she was like between 13 and 17.
Yeah. She likes to give him shit and refuses to watch Good Will Hunting because it might be good.
Wow.
Here's the quote. She doesn't want to see any movies that I'm in that she thinks might be good. She just likes to give me shit. My daughter says, hey, remember that movie you did, The Wall? And I said, it was called The Great Wall. And she goes, Dad, there's nothing great about that movie.
Oh, man.
She keeps my feet firmly on the ground.
Nice. That's a nice child move.
I thought, if I may, that this was going to be about something I read a little bit ago about Matt Damon. If I might even give you a little blurb here.
Got a little bonus.
Okay,
that's interesting. Encroach on the territory
Exactly.
here.
Wow.
It's
All
Matt
right.
Damon related.
Okay, go ahead.
Matt Damon says he turned down starring in Avatar along with 10% of the profits.
Oh, I did hear about this.
Damn.
Quote, you will
Which
never...
would have been like $1 billion or something, right?
It's such a mystery as to how Avatar is like possibly the largest grossing film of all time. It grossed the...
I don't think anymore, but it was.
yeah, and for so long,
a
it's
long
$1 billion at least.
I mean, it's a
grossed.
huge movie.
And it continues to gross, but like he was going to have royalties in perpetuity for this movie. James Cameron wanted him that bad that he was going to give him 10% in perpetuity for this movie, which would have given him like what, $100 million, $120 million, he said.
$2 billion. $2,847,000,000.
That's ridiculous.
That's a lot of wing wangs.
A lot of wing wangs.
Dude, I can only imagine the amount of shit he's catching from his daughter now that article is out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you idiot.
That's a dumb movie, too.
And that
Like,
movie
it would've-
sucks. That's what's...
He could have just gone in there and just done whatever he wanted.
And it's
Getting the blue suit, like...
He could have got in there and pulled a Mark Wahlberg and collected that check.
It's just an anomaly, that movie, because it's like the movie's not good in a way that's memorable, and the only thing memorable about it is that it's blue, and it's blue Ferngully in like the way it was shot in an interesting way.
And it was the first like new,
3D.
like first big new 3D. You know what I mean? The new era of 3D
That's
movie.
the only thing notable about it. And then since then, like Walt Disney World was just like, okay, we're gonna make a whole park dedicated to this one movie you guys don't remember.
Did they have a part in the park where they do weird alien sex stuff
I mean, kind of.
with their hair?
Is that part of Avatar?
Yeah, where
dude.
they touch their braids together and they're like,
Oh, yeah. I've seen this movie. I really don't remember it.
But you got to think about it, because there is that part in that movie where they do touch braids and they like, touch tips, but then they also touch tips with their horses that they ride and stuff too.
So that's questionable. Because there's definitely like a sensual aspect to it when the two aliens do it, but that's how they control the horses. It's like if every time you went to go ride a horse, you had to like mount it. You know what I mean? Like, all right, let's go.
If anything, it'd be more like docking with your horse before you have to ride
it would be kind of like docking, which would make saddles look totally different. You'd be like underneath the horse.
Yeah, it doesn't sound safe.
No.
It doesn't sound like a way you should ride a horse.
And then there's also been 2 sequels in development at the same time for 15 years or something like that now at this point. 11 years? Who cares about him?
Seems like some kind of like tax fraud. Like they're trying to collect. They're like washing some dirty money with
Just
the paychecks.
funneling it into Avatar. No one asks questions.
Just the last 15 years.
Wow. Maybe.
That movie sucks.
Yeah, the movie is. Well, I mean, I saw it and I don't remember any of it. It's pretty forgettable.
It's Dances with Wolves.
I mean,
That's it.
that can also just happen. I've only heard good things about Hereditary, but I've also seen it 3 times and I couldn't tell you what that movie's about.
All right, so I got one last news for you guys. It's from Variety. This one's for Danny.
Okay.
Because his old hype is going through the roof, y'all.
Uh-oh.
You've never seen a man this hyped about old
Uh-oh.
as Danny.
I don't know if that's true.
When filmmaker M. Night Shyamalan was giving... Oh, and I'm sorry. This is a Variety article by Jazz Tankay, also from July 2021. I won't read the headline because it'll give it away. When filmmaker M. Night Shyamalan was giving notes to singer-songwriter Salika Shyamalan, his daughter, one song he played...
Can't you just say her daughter? His daughter?
The director recruited Salika, no stranger to collaborating with her father, to write a track for his latest film, Old, which opens in theaters July 23rd. He wanted her to write a song about love, and the song he played for was U2's hit, With or Without You. He wanted a song that felt like Bono's lyrics.
Damn.
Woo!
Can you imagine Shyamalan in his living room with his daughter, like just queuing it up on his like home stereo? It's like kind of vintage because he's a dad and he's behind the times, and he just turns around as the song starts, like Bates in Psycho, just starts telling her about the song. He's just like really feeling it.
And he puts on a
for you.
Dad, are you putting on a raincoat?
Early U2's more of a pop feel. But at this point in their career, they've really come along as a band.
More so a message about the career in general.
Jesus. Anyway,
Now that's a CLE coming up that we got to do.
American Psycho, yeah, that'd be great. Brady Sinella's podcast. Ooh.
But I'm also very hesitant about this movie now that I know that.
Really, is this going to change?
I'm surprised it took you this long. This whole time you've been hyped. I've been like, but why?
It looks good. I don't
know about looking good, man.
Okay.
The first time I saw that trailer is weird because we all saw that trailer for the first time together, and I was like, "Did you guys see that fucking old trailer?" And Danny was like, "Did you guys see that old trailer?" Like they were totally different reactions from the get-go. Immediately, I was like, "This might be really, really bad."
I'm pretty sure like the one thing you brought up too is like, why is this 12-year-old pregnant?
Yeah, who impregnated this girl who like a day ago was like 6? Who did this?
Well, it comes out next week. We'll find out.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it regardless.
That's the only reason I'm going to go see that movie is to find out which one of those dirty bastards did it, and also because we got to do it for the channel.
Well, it's the kid from Hereditary. You can tell by the trailer.
I don't know what kid you're talking about, David.
Yeah, that's why I said it. Well, anyways, that's the news I got for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it.
That's great news, David. Not all of it's great news, but you did a great job.
And now for my sign off. Well, I guess that's the news.
Fantastic.
Does that bring us over to Peeps and Predicts, everyone?
It does.
Made it to the final segment, the third act, if you will.
Yeah.
Third act. Peeps and Predicts, for those who do not know, is a hypothetical situation in which peeps or people are put into predicts or predicaments. All hypothetical, but very real consequences. Our reigning champ from our last episode would be Bert the Gooms Gummer from the Tremors series, played by Michael Gross. What will our peeps get into today?
Let's find out. Let's find out who we're going up first with. Purple. Can someone do the purple? There we go.
Birthday boy. Why don't you get us with the pear?
Get the purple. That's the peeps.
Oh, pear.
P for peeps and purple.
Okay, everyone. Our peeps today are... Hey, this is my handwriting. Jigsaw versus the Leprechaun from Leprechaun.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, to keep things interesting, who is more likely to become Jigsaw's next disciple.
Whoa.
Dun-dun-dun. Dun-dun-dun.
Like,
Dun-dun-dun.
Game over.
my initial reaction would just be like, well, obviously Leprechaun, but
that's the twist.
you know,
dog.
that's the twist. Is Jigsaw being like, and the next in line is me. I ain't going nowhere.
Myself.
Yeah,
May
and
I reign and reign forever.
he puts like a tape in and he's like, John, I know you had amnesia.
Want to play a game?
I made this tape 2 years ago to remind you who you are.
That would be like Saw 9 when Jigsaw gets Alzheimer's, forgets who he is.
Exactly.
And he's in his own game.
Yeah, he's in his own game. Are you worthy?
But then at the same time, he's also his own disciple.
Damn. So regular real world logic, you'd have to give it to the Leprechaun, but in the universe of Saw, dude, it's John hands down, right? That's the biggest twist ever.
It's too easy.
That's the biggest twist
we should
ever.
be writing the next Saw movie.
Yeah.
Just send it to James Wan.
Yes, dude. Let's
He'll
get
sign
on the
off on
script.
it. He lets anything go this day.
Yeah, let's go.
Call him up.
Let's make it happen.
Oh, so John Kramer, Jigsaw.
Yeah, he takes point
Hands
number
down.
one.
Hands down.
Okay.
Easiest decision I've ever made.
What's our next decision?
Who would make a better lead in a Planet of the Apes remake? Jigsaw or the Leprechaun?
I'm going for the Leprechaun.
I mean, yeah. This is tough.
Yeah, I mean,
He's ultimately more entertaining.
Because it's not Warwick Davis.
Is
you
it
know what I mean?
Well,
no,
It is the Leprechaun.
and the same thing, like John Kramer, I can't see. Wait, is it Jigsaw? That's what it says.
It
in
is
there, right?
Jigsaw.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that
it's
is John
Jigsaw.
Kramer. Can't see that guy being a great actor.
Tobin Bell wouldn't be able to carry an entire.
Well, not Tobin Bell.
He doesn't.
sorry.
He
John
doesn't.
Kramer.
Yeah, John Kramer. John Kramer doesn't have the it. He doesn't emote. He's very.
Yeah.
You know.
Now Tobin Bell could lock it down.
Yeah,
But
where
John
the-
Kramer.
The Leprechaun. He's a showman.
Yeah.
Like he's all about like the presentation,
creative
the
kills.
wow factor.
He's already been in space.
True.
So we know he's going to be fine there.
Yeah. Facts.
He's going to be bringing real world knowledge to the set.
And if the apes were like already like astounded with humans talking, imagine what they'll think of a small humanoid talking that's also magical
Yes.
And murderous.
and murderous.
He's gonna kill some of
gonna
those
kill
apes.
all those
man.
apes.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the humans too. Especially if they touch his gold.
I mean,
That dude. Okay, that's the plot. There we go. We need to write this movie too.
if you're talking about it factor,
Yes.
that's the it
Oh
factor.
my god.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm not going to say anymore, so they don't steal our idea and our millions and millions of dollars we're going to make off this movie because we're getting on
this
that.
up. So we've got Saw 9 where Jigsaw becomes his
Yes.
own disciple. And
Leprechaun 9.
Fortune of the Planet of the Apes.
Fortune of the Planet of the Apes. Gold of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes, and we'll do it as a Leprechaun sequel. That's the
Yes.
franchise I'd rather have
my
on. If
God.
I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So that means we have to have a tiebreaker, right?
Let's go, Danny.
All right. Well, then our
Oh, other one. There you
our
go.
Yeah, let's get
tiebreaker
to it. We got to get to writing. We got a lot of work to do, you guys.
Yeah.
predict. Let's just make it a Christmas movie for the heck of it too.
Yes, I love it so much. It's going to be the best thing anybody's ever done.
This is also my handwriting. I love it. Who is more likely to be a secret Russian spy?
Ooh.
With Jigsaw
Well, I
and
feel like
Leprechaun.
it's got to be Jigsaw because Leprechaun is not is not like a.
He's pretty Irish.
It's a mythical entity, is what I'm trying to get at.
And you could argue the whole thing of like John being a sleeper cell and him not even realizing it, and that being the reason his brain's kind of messed up
You
on
mean
top of
like
everything.
a Manchurian Candidate kind of thing?
Yeah.
Just like it.
But also his colors are red.
Yeah, and if we're gonna be doing like convoluted retconning, definitely Saw franchise.
Yeah, true.
Definitely, Leprechaun's like I don't care.
Bum bum bum.
Put him in
Bum,
space.
bum,
Put him in the
bum,
hood.
Bum bum bum. Yeah, man.
And if there's anyone that would dismantle an establishment of corporate greed, probably would be Jigsaw to teach him a lesson.
He did in Saw 6.
That's true.
He did. He's already done it. John Kramer.
Yeah.
Everybody. Jigsaw.
Yeah.
Our champion.
Welcome to the table. Not yet.
Not
He's still
yet.
got to face
He's got
the
to
one true champion.
A new challenger approaches.
Bert Gummer.
I am sad it's not the Leprechaun in my heart of hearts, but we're all about being fair.
That was a
here.
good fight, though.
Yeah.
It was. Closer one than I would have thought. Okay, let's see here. Oops. So yes, Bert Gummer versus John Kramer, the new challenger. Who could beat Charlton Heston in a fist fight? Oh, I don't know.
I mean, I feel like Gooms could. They're of similar body type.
I feel like Burt Gummer has the upper hand just because John Kramer is for one dead, two is very sickly and old
And frail. And John Kramer would need to bring Charlton Heston into a trap.
Yeah.
And he would need to devise it. He would need time.
Did you see Charlton Heston? He had those judo moves in that cage. He was like, hi-ya.
I don't know if either of these guys are beating Charlton Heston in a fist fight.
No, I don't think
Really?
either of them would, honestly.
Does Burt
but
Gummer even fist fight anybody?
yeah,
in
he
the
uses
Tremors
his
movies?
guns, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
he shoots, yeah.
Like, he doesn't even punch anyone. Well, there's hardly anybody to punch.
Are you telling me
fighting
Burt
giant
Gummer
worms.
hasn't studied hand-to-hand combat? Because I bet he has. I bet
I don't
he
know.
just has.
When has it been shown in the movies is all I'm talking about.
You don't fight a trimmer hand-to-hand. You know what I mean? What
Yeah, but
opportunity has he had to
Aren't
showcase
there
that
some human
skill?
baddies later in those stupid movies? I don't really remember them very well. I'm trying to
There's
block
like
them out.
a-holes.
I'm sure he makes a punch.
Maybe, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he makes a punch. I think he even punches like the rich island owner in the last one or something. I don't know.
He may have. That's what he gets for juicing him.
Yeah, I feel like I can't remember. Jigsaw, though, I mean,
He's off the
definitely not winning a fight.
No.
I just still don't know.
Yeah, I don't think either of them was going to win, but the question isn't it who was more likely?
Who would win a
Who
fist
would
fight
win? Ah.
against Charlton Heston? This
Will we
is
give it to the leprechaun?
look. We got one last predict in the jar. I think we should just pull it. Clean
This one,
slate
'cause
this
this one's
jar.
a tie.
Yeah.
We'll
I
go.
feel like neither
Sure.
one of them could do it.
Yeah.
Charlton Heston, look at that guy.
This
And if
jury
anything,
is hung.
Charlton Heston might be the only guy with more guns than Burt Gummer. Who knows?
Who knows?
And we're talking Heston in Planet of the Apes, though, at that age.
Well, see, that gets confusing too.
Well, unless they got to fight in water, that's the only way one of these guys are coming out because Charlton Heston will be handicapped because he'll have one hand on his nose. And he'll only have one hand
Oh,
to
I
fight.
thought you meant that he was going to part the seas because he's Moses.
He's also Moses.
That could have been another direction I went with that dumb joke, but no, I was going. He's a baby.
Frank, why don't you pull out our limited edition double tiebreaker episode?
Wow, I love a good limited edition.
Yeah, here we go.
Shout out Nissan Rogue Midnight Edition. Come on, Papa needs a new Rogue. Who is more likely to be exposed as a drinker of adrenochrome?
Okay, well, just to catch people up, adrenochrome is like the life substance that you get from children.
That's not real.
Like, that's like human Powerade.
Hillary Clinton and the Democrats are harvesting for little boys.
We should also
really.
say for the record that it's not real.
Well, adrenochrome is real.
Oh, right.
But people using it, not real.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's more likely to be exposed to someone who drinks it?
No, to be a drinker
to be
of.
exposed as.
Probably Charlton Heston.
Well, Charlton Heston's not in the running here.
Oh, wait. Who are we talking about?
It's Burt Gummer or
John Kramer.
I mean,
I think John Kramer. He's like maybe
Yeah.
he was like in our sequel of John Kramer deciding that he will be his new protege. He's got to figure out a way to stay alive, and I could see him turning to adrenochrome to make that happen.
That's
extend his youth.
Yeah. Try to turn back the tides of his stupid brain cancer.
We have seen in Saw 3, that he's willing to do anything to stay alive. Even hire a doctor for brain surgery. Nurse for brain surgery?
Doctor.
Well, and it wasn't exactly a
wasn't a
hiring as it was a kidnapping and forcing.
But for someone to be a user of adrenochrome, then we have to go on with the crackpot QAnon theory that they are, harvesting it from children.
For
Yeah, and John's morals are
Doesn't
already
sound-
stupid.
I was gonna say that
Here's
doesn't
what
sound
he-
like John Kramer though. That sounds
He
like
already
too
has
far.
all the dumb I only do bad people, but then that other guy's only crime was being sad about his kid dying and his wife banging another
Yeah,
dude.
I'm not arguing that he's not inconsistent.
I'm saying
But
this
that-
decision still fits the way John Kramer makes decisions.
I think this one's too far. I think it's a step too far.
I think to play devil's advocate, we do know that Goomer is at least a libertarian, and he's kind of far on the right
he's
side.
QAnon adjacent.
He's closer to John Kramer, who would probably be more for universal health care than
QAnon people don't want to use adrenochrome though. They're
trying to stop. That's right.
But ironically, if anyone was using adrenochrome,
I mean, what's a
Probably
great way to get
would
away
be
with
QAnon.
something? A great way to get away with something is to pin it on someone, pin something you're doing on someone else.
Yeah, that's what me and my brothers used to do to each other all the time. It's also a great prank.
Sling mud.
I gotta say, I feel like I might have to vote Gummer on this one. I just think that John Kramer, while super inconsistent and infuriatingly self-righteous, I don't think he would
You
go
think
so
that
far.
self-righteousned would keep him from it?
Yes, I think he would be like, I can't be harvesting innocent children's whatever.
What if he only
Glands.
harvests
Life
the
force.
naughty children?
Yeah, I was gonna say he'd have to have some elaborate scenario of like child murderers
So
that
like
he would
juvenile
then,
delinquents,
Dang, this could be Saw 9 that we're writing right now.
kids
though.
that pirate movies.
It's not a victimless
just-
crime.
At the same time, I don't see why Goomer would do it.
I mean, I don't know if either one of these guys really would, but also Goomer was out in that sun that whole time. You saw him all roasted up in that last movie. Guy's not looking
Yeah,
good.
He'll need to extend his life at some
He
point,
himself needs to juice some of them. You know what I mean?
Maybe he's gonna try to like get that young Goomer charm so he can get Reba McEntire back. Pay a visit to her sister's house, win her love
too.
back.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you guys think? What's
Tough
your?
choice.
This is a tough one.
I feel like this one's another wash. I can't see either of these characters doing it. Well, but this one is more likely to. I don't even know, man. I can't see
We
a
got,
reason Burt Gummer would.
we got no more predicts.
There's no more predict.
That
That.
is quite a predict.
So I think we just got to go gut instinct here. Who are you guys saying? Goomer?
Yeah,
Tobin.
I'd have to agree with you on the self-righteous aspect of it alone. John thinks he's too good for it.
And it's a blatant crime for him to like kill children, just to kill children.
Yeah, that's
for
like
himself.
a step too far.
Yeah, yeah.
I think.
There's no justification for it for him, other than trying to live forever.
Unless he really worked hard to shoehorn it in somewhere.
Doing 5D chess all over the place.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote Gummer on this one, on that little fact. And like we can't, I want to shoehorn more stuff in, but we're already getting a little too convoluted on our Saw remake with the communism and yeah. So I don't want to muddy that up too much. I want to
Yeah.
make a little bit of money off of
You
this.
can't throw too much at the audience.
Yeah.
They're going to turn away.
Then they're not gonna come see our next 6 movies that we're gonna make in that franchise. You know what I
Exactly. So Gooms.
Wow, yeah.
Gooms for the win?
mean? Yeah.
He's still on top. What are we going to do?
Yeah, that's the
Wow.
other reason I'm
Amazing
voting.
guy.
I'm not ready to let go yet.
He is too dang close to Batman at this point.
Yeah.
Better than
Well,
Batman, some would say.
He's not even close to Batman.
Not even approaching those numbers yet, but we'll get
No.
there.
I
Wait,
mean-
has he surpassed Mila Jovovich then? Or what's her name? Alice?
Alice.
Probably, maybe
I
tied.
feel like she was on for 4 episodes.
I mean, Batman was on for like 20 episodes or something. Maybe not 20, but it was like a lot.
It was a good long time.
Yeah.
Alice was
really
probably 4 episodes. Or
Yeah,
so,
I
I'd
think
say.
so. A little too much.
Well, we'll see. Will Gummer be dethroned in the next one? Find out in the next Peeps and Predicts.
Peepers and
Peepers and
predictors.
Peepers and predictors.
Probably not though. He'll probably reign supreme forever and ever.
So, yeah, that's been our remake versus original episode for
Hey.
Planet of the Apes. We have chosen 1968's Planet of the Apes as the superior Planet of the Apes.
What?
Yeah.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah, who would have thunk it, Marky Mark? Try again. Go
Or
ahead.
don't. Just do something else.
Stop.
Thanks for listening to another episode. Be sure to like us on YouTube. Give us that subscribe. Hit that bell. Give us some comments. Check us out on Instagram at Uninformed Movie Reviews. On Facebook at Uninformed Movie Reviews. And if you got suggestions, email us at uninformedmoviereviews@gmail.com/HTML.